Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers coming to you from the 2014 West Michigan Policy Forum being taped at the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel in downtown Grand Rapids. Joining me now is the Director of the Michigan Department of Transportation, Kirk Steudle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for
the invitation. Most of the time everybody's crabby and they want to talk to you about potholes, but today you're a little bit of a hero, right? You're able to talk positively about some really good innovations, things that are happening in Michigan when it comes to transportation that nobody else is doing.
Yeah, we really are. There's some great things going on. Of course, it's in the backdrop of this funding crisis that we have, but we said, look, that shouldn't stop us from being as innovative, as efficient, and effective as possible. So there's a number of things that are going on. I want to highlight a couple. One of them, right here in West Michigan, we have this thing called the bridge slide, and some people may have seen it on US 131 at 3 Mile Road, where we built a bridge next to the bridge, and traffic continued to go by, and then we closed it on a weekend, or I closed it for like 3 days, and then slid the new bridge in place and opened it back up again. We've got another one going on I-96 at M50 by Lowell. It's the same thing. We built the bridge next to the bridge, put the traffic on it, then rebuilt the substructure, the piers and abutments, and in probably a couple weeks we're going to slide that bridge in place, all by impacting traffic for less than about 4 or 5 days instead of 4 or 5 months.
So is that actually economically a better thing to do or just conveniently a better thing to do?
So it depends how you look at economically. If you look at just the transportation budget, you could say, well, you're spending more money here, you could do it cheaper. Yeah, that's true until you take into the account the economic impact of closing 131 for 4 or 5 months, or M50, the connection over I-96, and what the detours would be and how it impacts us, frankly, a lot of the businesses that are right here at the West Michigan Policy Forum.
So obviously good for business, good for the overall economy. And there's something to be said for being low on funds, right? You have to think outside the box and get innovative.
There really is. And another one that we're doing is called E-Construction or E-Project. We did 3 pilots last year. This year we're doing about 22 projects, and actually as the beginning of October, all projects in the state of Michigan done by the Michigan Department of Transportation are going to be done completely paperless. So we just opened a big section of I-96 through Livonia, 7 miles, reconstruction, 8 lanes freeways, and 37 bridges. We did that in about 150 days or so, completely paperless. At one point we were issuing about $1 million a week of payments to the contractor for work that was happening. But that's being done with no survey stakes in the ground, with no papers going back and forth for payrolls, for inspection reports, for testing materials. All those are still required. They're just all being done electronically. They're all being managed in the cloud, and it actually enabled us to do that big project faster. Now, there is no other state in the country, and I haven't verified this, but I do believe anywhere in the world that's doing projects like this. When we roll this into our larger program, we anticipate saving, just in paper, 7 million sheets of paper. 7 million. Now, if you're in the logging industry, maybe that's not necessarily a good thing because there's less paper, but that equates to about 4 to 5 million conservatively that we put right back into more infrastructure. So much more efficient and greater use of the resources we have, and it's going to spread it even further. And I think that number is actually going to be higher because the efficiencies that are going to be gained by the contractors and by the inspection staff.
So, and very quickly, it sounds like Michigan's sort of leading the way. We're an innovator.
We absolutely are leading the way. In fact, other states are looking at us saying, well, how do we learn how to do that? And boy, you guys are 3 to 5 years ahead of us.
Well, good to know Michigan is leading the way when it comes to a few things. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Kirk Steudle, the Director of the Michigan Department of Transportation.